How you doing, Sean?
What's up, fellas? How you doing, man?
Good. I know you've been busy. Chargers, lights out. We're gonna get to all of it, and I mean, I think we have to start with the schedule release. Seems like every year the Chargers social media team just cleans up everybody, and everybody loves. They obviously did the Sims one this year. They put all these I mean, what they did the Raiders with the QR code for the clown, whatever it was. How'd you like what they did? It was crazy.
I said earlier today that I think they got the best social media in sports, not just in football. I think in sports, and I follow probably 60 teams across soccer, baseball, everywhere. And so I'm constantly checking the social media, and they knock it out the park every time. So kudos to them. I think the Titans are strong, a strong second.
Yeah.
The Titans are pretty good. Who else? They got some ones out there good. That's pretty good. Miami Dolphins actually ones is pretty good, but they do. The Ravens are good. But yeah, I don't think anybody can come close to the Chargers. Man, they're so damn creative over there, and I love that.
Now, how'd you actually like the way the schedule fell for the Chargers this year? Obviously, the big story here for the Chargers is the Horror Bowl coming up. You got that in prime time. Did you think the Chargers got a fair shake with everything, the bye week, everything? You think it was good?
Yeah, man. And look, there's no better way to start the season than with the Raiders, right? I remember playing the Raiders start the season Monday Night Football in 2006, and it was absolutely amazing, man. One of my best games ever. But I think that when you start the season with a divisional opponent or somebody that kicked you out the playoffs last year, or somebody that you lost to in the Super Bowl or AFC or NFC Championship game, those make good storylines. And I think the NFL, man, they've turned they've turned the scheduling like a movie premiere, right? Like a
Yeah.
big, you know what I'm saying? Like they made it a big thing where it's like bigger than what's going on in some sports, like bigger than some of the NBA basketball games, the actual
Yeah.
games. The schedule just coming out because they made it such an event, man. That just shows you how well the NFL does things.
Sean, hey, how we doing? Sorry, I was trying to figure out breaking down why everyone wanted to give up on a player here. Do you ever feel like anyone wanted to give up on you when you were struggling, by the way?
When I was hurt, yeah, for sure. I had those times like, yo, get this one-legged ass out of here. But but also too, you gotta understand that's just the way fans are, right? Like you go out and scorch people for 2 or 3 weeks, you have a bad game, they're ready to ship you out, and that's that's a part of the business.
For sure. And that's the thing we were talking about. Players having some struggles. He's a little bit older. Craig Kimbrell with the Orioles. I don't know how closely you've been following it. Up and down, talented player, but you're right. People expect when you're there, they want to see results, right? Almost every day. Reality is it's not going to be every day, but there's an expectation nonetheless. The Orioles are good. When you played, people want you to go out there and help the Chargers win games specifically. I know with the Bills, et cetera. One thing before I ask you some more football questions, because this is what I wanted to ask you off the top. You've been running around doing things, and especially you've had Lights Out, Extreme Fighting, and then now, correct me if I'm wrong, you just started Lights Out, the streaming service. Is that correct?
Yeah, Lights Out Sports. I launched Lights Out Sports, my multi-sport streaming service, a few weeks ago, and we're available, man, on Roku and where are we? Apple TV, Amazon Fire, iOS, Android. A few weeks we'll be on Vizio, LG TVs, Philips. I just finished locking down Comcast and Xumo, so we'll be able to announce that soon. But yeah, man, if you look on it, it's only like 4 or 5 channels right now. But I think by tomorrow or Monday latest, we should have like another 6, 7 channels. Speed Vision, if you're into motorsports. We got what else is on there? Jeez, Glory Kickboxing is on there as well. Swerve Combat, chess, dude. I didn't even know, right? So I watched chess tournaments from a distance, but I didn't get really the strategy. So I've been like watching these the commentary on the stress on the chess shows, and dude, I'm getting in the chess. All my friends play, and I was like, man, this is some stupid shit. I always say it's pretty, but listening to the commentary, man, I'm like, man, this is a strategic game, and people would always tell me like my whole entire life that I would be really good at chess, and I just didn't know, and so I just started playing chess because of Lights Out Sports TV, and then who we got coming on? World Poker Tour. World Poker Tour is coming on. And so we got some really, really big announcements coming here in the next few weeks, man. And it's going to be cool because Lights Out Extreme Fight Now, my fights will be live on the app. We'll have a 5-hour show on Saturday, so you guys tune in. But any major TV platform or phone you have, you should be able to download Lights Out Sports TV.
That's amazing. You know what? My chess game's got to get better now too. And I actually, you know what? It's always the other sports too, where these commentators also just call some wild shit. I saw with darts. I've seen with chess. Actually, I think the other one was I'm blanking. Oh, actually, poker had some moments there. I thought I was a really good poker. Are you a good poker player, Shawne? You got a poker face?
Again, I've never really played poker like that either.
Until now.
Until now, it's crazy. I work a lot, man. If I'm not working, I'm in the gym. And, you know what I mean? So I'm always moving. And so I never really get a chance to do a lot of fun stuff. Like somebody asked me the other day, like, oh, man, you play golf? I'm like, yeah, but what time? Like, when am I going to play golf? I'm struggling to fit in my meals and sleeping. So, but yeah, man, I think this is cool because I wanted to create like a locker room vibe, right? Where people go, I'm still a subscriber to those other streaming services, but there was very few places where you go where it's just sports, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just sports. And I wanted to create that where it's nothing but sports. You have to sift through 300 channels of sitcoms and shows. I'm like, man, let's put on some sports because that's what we really want to see.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing we're talking about. Platforms and programming now, things have changed so much. Yeah, I just want to watch something that I want to watch. I don't want to see what's going to be going on in infomercial at God knows what hour here, and I don't give a shit about any of it. So I think it's awesome. You are always on the run, though, by the way. I see you always working out in the morning. It's motivating. I got to get up earlier. Zach and Rocco still want to fight each other if you ever need to sign somebody up. But you need to get your mic still back on, Zach? Nope. Are you back? Nope. There it is.
Hey.
He's ducking action right now, as usual.
Yeah,
so
I'll fight Rocco. You know.
Yeah, so if you need like a undercard of the undercard of the undercard in the back, they'll do it.
I was just gonna say, Shawne. First time we had you on, Zach tried to show off some of his moves, and you told him he was going to get his ass whooped. So. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that. Next time you're in town, we should definitely set something up with Zach and whoever it is.
You know,
Zach, they don't care about you, man. I'm finally noticing that.
They don't. No, that's the thing. They don't. I know. That's what I'm saying.
Whoa. We're just trying to be nice to him here. Like Kevin here, by the way, Kevin thinks that he can tackle Nick Moore. Professional football player. I never
said I thought. I said I'm going to try.
So Nick Moore tore his Achilles, and yes, he's a long snapper, but he's a big boy. He's like 270, and Kevin, that's right what you are, minus 160 pounds.
About half. Yeah, about half.
So Nick, we said the final drill, Shawne, is Kevin and Nick are going to do the Oklahoma drill to see if that Achilles is still working. So
do you think you can tackle him?
No.
Or you say you're going to try to?
No.
But
it's essentially for content. Yeah. It's not.
Shawne was about to break some news to you. He wanted to see where your confidence was, and then was going to let you know.
You know, y'all talking to the wrong person because I fucking promote 2 ants wrestling.
Hey, if you want to promote it, I'll suit up. I'll get the helmet. We'll go do it.
And we'll also get like an orthopedic sponsor before we do that as well. But speaking of this, like putting your body through all this shit, right, Shawne? It's football's tough. It is a grind physically, mentally. And I think Kyle Van Noy for the Ravens just had a tweet out. And I think, Zach, you wanted to allude to it because Kyle wasn't specifically happy with the Ravens schedule. And I think you can have good insight here. But Zach, you want to take it away?
Yeah. Shawne, how's it going? So Kyle Van Noy put out this tweet because there is a spot in the Ravens schedule where they have 3 games in a span of 10 days around the Christmas. It's actually right after their bye week as well, right, Kevin? Yep. So as a player, especially who played as such a physical position like you did, what are your thoughts on them having 3 games in the span of just 10 days?
Well, look, it's definitely rough, right? There's no doubt about that. And the game is physical. I think the ones who will struggle the most is like the ones 8 years and in, right? I mean, 8 years and after, because it was about that 7-8 year mark where my body started taking a little bit longer to recover. They came out with the Thursday night football games, and I remember like playing on Thursday night and I was just starting to feel like I was myself on Wednesday, right? Like that Wednesday, and then I'll go into the game. I think, oh, okay, I'm good to go. But I can definitely see, even look, the game has changed, right? It's the double days training camp back to back. They're not physical during the season. They hardly wear shoulder pads and equipment during the season at least. But you got to think, man, those 4 quarters are rough, and you really don't. It doesn't hit you until you wake up the next day, and then that Tuesday. See, that's where everybody's missing. That Tuesday is when you feel like shit. Like when you wake up Monday, all the adrenaline's kind of wore off, and then that Tuesday is where you're like, oh man, that hurt. And then, by the way, you're back in practice on Wednesday, so it's going to be a ton of walkthroughs, guys. Like they're not going to go and practice and run through drills and have not these scrimmages doing. None of that's going to happen. There's going to be walkthroughs and ice tubs, hot tubs. Those 2 or 3 weeks, man. It's not going to be rough. It's doable, but I do think it's a little bit in the gray area on guys' health.
Yeah, and then you even have to, take into account that it's Ravens Steelers on a Saturday, followed by that Wednesday. The Ravens on Christmas traveled to Houston to play C.J. Stroud, Stephon Diggs, Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson. So it's 2 very physical games in the span of 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, and it's actually crazy because Pittsburgh has the exact same thing where they're also in that exact same span playing games 3 times in 10 days, which, I mean, speaking of, Shawne, do you feel like the bye week in particular, when you were playing, when the schedule came out, were you looking at that bye, and if it was like week 4, week 5, you were like, dang, like that's super early, because then you got to play football all the way through? Or did you not really care about when the bye week was? You just knew it was rest?
I didn't really care. I only cared if I was dealing with something like a nagging ankle that just won't go away, stuff like that. You rather be somewhere in the middle of the season where you kind of reset. And not just physically, I'm talking about like mentally, because you got to think, you go from a month-long training camp and you're popping right into the season. So you don't have a break. And so it's just, studying film, weight room, walkthroughs, practice, studying film. And it's just the repetition of every single day. And it starts to wear on you mentally, which is why a lot of the rookies hit that rookie wall coming from college, because they can't, it's a long season, it's repetitive, and it's like, it'll beat you up. Forget the physical aspect. You're like, man, I need a damn break. I need a second, because you don't have that. That's the first day of training camp start. You're going for 6-7 months of the year. That's it. So outside of the physical aspect, you will hope to get that mental break away from the game so you can reset closer to the middle of the season.
Yeah, it's interesting you brought that up about, rookies getting used to all of that, especially all players. You get used to it in the grind when you're playing, like, hey, you've been around, you know what you got to do to get yourself right. But when you're a rookie and you're trying to figure it out here, and the only reason it gets brought up here is that people are quick to judge that these rookies are supposed to hit the ground running, right? All of a sudden, oh, why aren't you playing well? What's going on? Are you tired? You've never played for 6-7 months? Well, yeah, college, you're doing it. NFL is a different beast. And, for a lot of those guys we brought up in the past, whether it's been Kyle Hamilton was mocked considerably in Baltimore, and it took time for him to physically get used to the game and mentally. And he's a pretty damn good player now, but it took time for that adjustment.
But Ryan, the truth is, man, like the NFL, they just not developing players anymore. They're just not, and that's the truth. And I don't know when teams started to go away from that. And I'm talking about from mainly the quarterback position. Like, hey, okay, yeah, you draft a guy high, we can get him involved, but we shouldn't turn directly to him for the reasons you just said. Like, you're going to hit a rookie wall. I don't care who you are. You could be the best player in the world or the worst player in the world. You're going to hit that wall, because you got to think the rookies have they more so than anybody, they have no break, right? You go from college, you go straight to working out for the combine right away. There is no break. And so you go from the combine to your pro day. Before you know it, you're right in rookie minicamp. And so that's why these guys hit the wall. That's why I feel that teams need to start developing guys, because you bring them along slow. Don't throw them in the fire. Let them get their feet wet before you start requesting all these things of them.
So you're bringing that up, developing players. Now you got my mind working here, because the Chargers now specifically, I mean, Herbert's a beast, and I think he's developed well. Could he develop more? Yes. Jim Harbaugh's had the track record, yes, of developing. And you hope then, if you're talking about young players, it's no secret, the wide receiver room, they didn't go out and get a lot of guys. They drafted a guy, right? But do you feel confident then like Jim Harbaugh can help Herbert take that kind of next step? And then guys like maybe Johnson can pick it up? Or is that case by case? Because Jim, people can say what they want about stuff with, I'm interested. I agree with you. I think that it's the same way that people talk about in other sports with development's different than it was. But I guess what I'm saying is, do you feel confident then that Jim Harbaugh is going to get the best out of Herbert and some of the other guys?
Yeah, because that's what his pass has shown. He's getting the guys. But in Justin Herbert's defense, right? And I'm not trying to stick up for him at all, but look at the offensive coordinators, how amount of coaches he's had.
It's a lot.
Like, I mean, how are you going to gain any consistency? And you guys got to think, man, like, you're learning a new language. When you learn new offenses, you're learning a new language. I mean, yeah. I'm sure that learning French is a lot easier than having three different quarterbacks. Three different offensive coordinators over the course of like three or 4 year period. The terminology is different, the cadence is different, the timing is different, and then the wording, right? And so you look at all those things, man. And for Justin Herbert even have the seasons that he had so far has been immaculate. But two, man, Jim Harbaugh he's a great coach, but he's also like a motivator too, man. It's not like he's coming to chop you down, and it's almost like when Russell Wilson left Pete Carroll. There's nothing wrong with Russell Wilson. I think he can still play. The problem is he left Pete Carroll. He left this guy that was a whisperer, right? A quarterback whisperer, inspirational, motivational. You could do it. You could figure it out. Let's go type of coach. And that's important. And that's what Jim Harbaugh brings. And he has this tough nose kind of thing about him where, when's the last time we've seen a strength and conditioning coach at a press conference? Like, we haven't. It just happened. And so he's kind of he's breathing new life in the guys. He's not talking Super Bowl. He's not talking championship. I don't even think he started talking about game one just yet. It's like, man, let's get our asses in the gym. Let's build this thing up. Let's get the most out of today. And when you have that attitude, and I'm like that too, man. I'm not a planner of 5 years. Like, hey, I'm gonna go kick today's ass, and I worry about tomorrow. And so he has that same type of mentality, and that's the true reason for his quick turnarounds.
I love that, and especially for the Chargers, hasn't it always been expectations the last few years? They're supposed to unseat the Chiefs. They're supposed to win these games. Herbert's supposed to lead them to the prom. Kellen Moore is going to have this offense doing things it's never done before. But at the end of the day, it was everything that was supposed to happen, not what you got to do right now. And that is, I got to go to work, I got to wake up, and I got to do it over and over and over again. I think, Rock, you had then a specific question about kind of in the philosophy that's going on now with the Chargers.
Yeah, Shawne, thanks for joining the show again, man. You talked about the offensive coordinator carousel for Justin Herbert over the course of his career. There's one thing I know about Ravens fans. It is that they are going to let you know how they feel about Greg Roman, and they are not going to hold back. For you, a guy that's worn the Charger blue, who has played for this franchise, what are your honest thoughts and any opinions you might have on the hire there?
I like it a lot. And I know that that the Ravens feel differently about Greg Roman, but I'm going to tell you why this works. And there's nothing against Lamar Jackson at all, right? But we're talking about two level of quarterbacks. I think we can agree. And when I say level, I mean, I'm talking about skill-wise. I'm talking about the type of player who they are.
Right.
And look what Harbaugh did at Michigan. He ran the damn football, and most of his big plays were on play action and getting the safeties and cornerbacks, DBs, linebackers to bite up, and then he's starting to beat you deep. Well, who has the biggest arm in the NFL? Right. So this all makes perfect sense. If you're gashing everybody with the run, and this is why I love this the most. We all know how pass happy, quarterback friendly the league has gotten now. And to have not one running back there is capable, but two running backs back there is capable of getting it done. You got three damn all-stars in that offensive line, and Rashawn Slater, Zion, then you put Joe Alt there. They're running the football, they're protecting Justin Herbert. And by the way, if we're gashing on the run, one of those guys, right? Either Elad, who they just drafted, Quentin Johnson, who can now beat you deep, because that's what he do. He goes deep. They got the new tight end that came in from the Panthers. So if you look at what they're doing, they're establishing an identity. They're telling you what they're going to do. They're sending a message. Oh, by the way, that once we start gashing you on the run, we're going to beat you deep.
I think that philosophy works, and you're right. It's different styles of playing quarterback. Just everyone wants to look at what Greg Roman's done in the past, going from the Niners, the Bills, the Ravens. You're right. The scheme of the style of quarterback, the dynamic. Justin Herbert's a good athlete. He wasn't Colin Kaepernick, Lamar Jackson, even Tyrod Taylor type of his game. Justin's like, hey, I can run. I can throw this ball 80 yards down the field, and I can throw a bullet. So I'm with you. And I mean, hey, the Ravens, people can be a little bit bitter. I can say that. It's but people can find different reasons. But I just like the fact that I'm intrigued because it's people, Shawne, they call it Ravens West out there in LA because, it's just, hey, Ortiz is out there. Dobbins, you get a Raven. You get a Raven. And then obviously Greg Roman's out there. And then the Ravens have the Harbaugh Bowl, man. That's going to be fun. I'm assuming you're going to be at that game. Is that a game that should be a fun interaction? Should I fly out for that one? Is that going to be a good one?
I would, man. I would miss that. But I'm king of promoting something. I think that there's so many angles. If you really, really want to dial this thing up, that week and talking about that game and their relationship, their dad, which is great. And there's so many different angles because first of all, Jim Harbaugh is a damn character, man. He's just like a character type of a guy, and you always gonna get a good sound bite out of him. And then with John, it's just like, man, he's been doing it for so long and exceeding. It's just there's storylines in and throughout that game that they can have some fun with.
I can't wait. I meant to go out to the game last year. That was kind of an ugly game out there last year, but I'm excited for this one. I'm going to try to make it out there. My sister actually made it out. Also, by the way, that stadium out there, unbelievable. I heard just even going through the damn security, it's an experience unlike anything else. Couple things, Shawne, we'll get you out of here. We have some questions here. It's maybe you want to reminisce for a second. Justin has a question. What was your favorite Maryland bar and why was it? Is it Lupo's? Or is there another one? Doesn't have to be that one. Or did you just behave yourself on the weekend?
Absolutely not. I sure didn't. Yeah, I was a Lupo's guy first, but I can kind of crip walk myself down to the Bentleys once in a while. So,
did I tell you my mom worked there? My mom used to work at Bentleys before your time, but she used to work there. And John Brown, the owner, did you ever get to meet John?
I did. I know John very well. I knew him very well. But yeah, I was a Lupo's guy, man. I spent some community service hours down there for sure.
Hey, you're just giving back to the people. I love that. I can tell. I did the same thing a lot on the road too in the minors, to say the least. I think one other question was about and we actually didn't even ask you about this, but I guess legacy wise, talking about with you coming to the Chargers and with Junior Seau being involved with that. Did you feel pressure or did you feel like an honor to be able to go out there and join in on something that he had been a part of and started there?
I didn't know how big Junior Seau was until I got to San Diego, right? So I knew he was a great linebacker, football player, but I didn't know who Junior Seau really was until I got to San Diego and what he meant to everybody out there. So I knew that those shoes were almost impossible to fill. It's just he was like a superhero. There was a point in time that I actually lobbied for him because he retired at one of our after one of our practices one day in San Diego, and I started picking up. He kept saying he wasn't retiring; he was graduating. So I asked him. I said, "Hey, I said, Junebug, are you retiring or you graduating?" He said, "I'm graduating, kid." He's like, graduating. I said, "Okay, so he's still gonna play." And that's when I started my pitch. I wanted him to come back to the Shark. I wanted to play with Junior Seau.
Yeah,
I would have done everything in my. I would have done it. I would gave up part of my salary to play with Junior Seau. I didn't feel any pressure until the Union Tribune wrote an article after my rookie year comparing us to. So I didn't have any real pressure then. I remember sitting down in front of my locker and I'm like, holy shit, you talking about 10, 11 straight Pro Bowls. It's it's impossible things. It's things in this current day and time was next to impossible, and I probably could have if I didn't get injured. But I think at the end of the day, man, to have somebody there that meant so much to people, and just having that comparison,
yeah,
it meant a lot to me because I'm like, dude, Junior was the man, bro. Like all on the field, off the field. He was just the most loved person to ever walk through San Diego. So just to even have that comparison, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm making a stand here in some of the things I'm doing. So that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's flattering to get compared or to be looked at by, greats that are involved with it's humbling, but also, man, that would have been the opportunity to be able to play with one of those. I'd be right there with you. But it also tells a lot about you too. Not that everyone is like this, but not everyone's going to say, hey, I'll take a pay cut to play with the guy, but that's just how you are. You wanted that experience, which I think is awesome. Now, last thing before I let you go, and this is controversial, and I apologize here, Shawne, in advance. We've sponsored with Stuggies. Have you ever had a crab mac and cheese hot dog, by the way, in Baltimore?
No,
not yet.
I never even heard of it, but I'm down. Yeah, of course.
Well, you're gonna have to try it. You're gonna have to try it.
Anything with crab in it, not just. Unless it's coming from chicks. Anything else, any other crabs, I'm pretty good with. Come on, guys. I was waiting for somebody to laugh. Come on.
That was a bar. That was a bar. Man.
Oh, shit.
You said that so calmly too, and I usually pick up on that shit.
I was over here. I got it the first time. Everybody here was trying to get it. I understood.
Of all people,
I saw Rocco covering his face. I was like, oh, he got it.
They didn't have the camera on me, but I sunk down.
Yeah,
I
think I was the first one to pick up on what you were saying, and I was like, "Oh man, here we go."
And people in the chat picked up on it. I was so trying to get ready to say what I was going to ask you next that it just went.
Look, I said it, and then nobody said anything. I saw Rocco do this. I was like, he got it. I got it. He got it.
God, you know what? And honestly, that's not even that joke is that's like a PG joke compared to whatever the other people have said on this show here. So damn.
Very true.
Well, Shawne, well, getting to know that, it's a great point that you make. Now back to the other question here. If you're going to go to a ballpark here, stadium, whatever it's going to be, and we're envisioning this, right? You got a dog. It's plain. Now you can either leave it plain or you have condiments you can choose from. Shawne Merriman, what is going on your dog?
All of them combined, or just I can have whatever I want?
You can pick whatever you want. You can have it be plain. You can put whatever condiment on top. Your choice.
Oh yeah. No, I'm going for sure with ketchup, mustard, relish, and if they got chili and cheese, I'm in there. Those are my go-to.
Right.
All three.
The works.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I like the works.
Man. Okay.
There you go.
I'm a plain dog guy, so that's why I was wondering. I do crab mac and cheese. I consider a topping, right? I'll eat a specialty dog, but usually I'm a plain dog. And that's okay. That's cool, right? That's fine.
Dude, that's it. I mean, that you belong on First 48, dude. That's criminal a little bit. I mean,
come on, Shawne.
We got to get you on My Strange Addiction, is what.
Yeah, dude. I mean, talking about making a murderer. Then they got that thing on Netflix.
No.
not a good couple weeks for you, Ryan, and this plain dog.
Shawne, Eric DaCosta roasted my ass for that. But also, his son eats a plain hot dog.
He didn't hold back on his son either.
Yeah, he didn't hold back on his son. That's for sure.
Yeah,
okay.
It's like, Shawne, you were a hell of a football player, man, but you were born to promote. Honestly, you got the one-liners, man. It's fantastic. You're just dropping them here. So,
appreciate it.
All right, Shawne.
It's that Kendrick and Drake got my spirit.
Listen,
so
that's what Zach and I is going to turn into. It's going to end up with us in the octagon. So.
Well, should that be the next controversial question we start asking? Is who won? Who won Kendrick versus Drake?
Who won Kendrick?
Oh my God! Yeah, is that over now? Is it?
I think they called it. I think they I think Drake waved the white flag. I think.
Yeah,
okay.
Looks like it.
I think they moved on. They're kind of both just done with it.
So they moved on, and I just keep getting my shit rocked by people that don't like my plain dog taste on this. So whatever. I'm so glad you came back, man. When you gonna come back to Maryland in the future? What's your plans?
Yeah. I was. I tried to make it back. For their spring game. I couldn't get back there, but I'll be back always. Couple, 2 or 3 games on the season, and if I don't, my family kick my ass. So I got to make it back at some point.
Good. All right. Well, hey, we'll let you go. Thanks for ruining my night at the end there. But in all seriousness, always appreciate you coming on. Need anything that we can help with, but everyone go check out what Shawne's going. And also the fights this weekend on May 18th too, right?
Yep. That'll be on Lights Out Sports TV. So if you guys got an iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, download. It's completely free, 100% free. So check us out. But we got, I think, 17 fights. We got 17 fights lined up on Saturday, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific.
5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time, everyone. Well, Shawne, appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and we'll talk soon, okay?
You got it, guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Shawne Merriman, everybody.
Yeah, all right.